Hi everyone, welcome to Go Classes. So in the last session we were discussing functional completeness. In this functional completeness, our next topic is monotonic Boolean function. When can we say a Boolean function is monotonic and when can we say a Boolean function is not monotonic? Okay, so this is the concept that we need to study. So let's see what is a monotonic Boolean function. Let's see what is a monotonic Boolean function, or you can say it is monotone. Okay, either you can call it monotonic or you can call it monotone or you can call it monotone. Okay, so when can I say a function is monotone, or I can say when can I say a function is monotonic? See the definition. I'm giving you a definition, but if you want to check whether a given Boolean function is monotonic or not, there is a very simple procedure. Okay, but before that, let's see the definition of monotonic Boolean function. What is a monotonic Boolean function? Let's see the definition. The definition is like this: for any function f, for for function f, for function f, if see, if you increase the input combination, if increasing the input combination, notice, if increasing the input combination, the input combination, increasing the input combination. Okay, but remember, when I say increasing the input combination, it simply means by one bit, by changing one bit from 0 to 1. Okay, by changing one bit from 0 to 1, by changing single bit from 0 to 1, single bit, or I can say by changing single input from 0 to 1, from 0 to 1. Is this clear? See what I'm saying. For function f, if you increase the input combination, if you increase the input combination by changing single input from 0 to 1, by changing single input from 0 to 1, when I change a single input from 0 to 1, basically I'm increasing the input combination. I'm increasing the value of input combination. Yes or no? Tell me, if I change a single input from 0 to 1, then what I'm doing? I'm increasing the input combination. Yes. So if you increase the input combination by changing a single input from 0 to 1, then this function value must not go from 1 to 0, 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 or I can say that this function value also must be increasing. Okay, or I can say this function value also must be increasing, the function value also must be increasing. I can say the function value must not decrease, must not decrease, must not decrease. Is this clear? Is this definition clear? Please tell me. See, very simple point. If you increase the input, then function value should also increase. Okay, means function value should not decrease. So what is a monotonic Boolean function? The definition is extremely simple. Let's see, when can I say a function is monotonic? So remember, this is your function and this is your input combination. For example, A, B, C. Okay, now what I'm saying? I'm saying that let's assume for this input combination, the value of this function. Okay, for this input combination, let's assume for this input combination, the value of function is, let's assume, 0. Okay, then if I change a single, if I change a single input from 0 to 1, I'm increasing. What I will do? I will increase the input combination. Please notice, I will increase the input combination by changing a single input from 0 to 1. By changing a single input from 0 to 1. For example, maybe I can change this single input from 0 to 1. Okay, maybe this is what I'm doing. So I'm increasing the input combination by changing a single input from 0 to 1. Then tell me what should happen? Then tell me what should happen? Then tell me what should happen? Then f should not decrease. F should not decrease. So because f was already 0, now this new value of f can be 0 or 1. Okay? This new value of f can be 0 or 1. But notice, now assume that function value for this input combination function value is 1. Okay, for this input combination function value is 1. Now what I will do? I will increase the input combination by changing a single input from 0 to 1. Okay, by changing a single input from 0 to 1. Now tell me, this new value of function, can it be 0? I am increasing the input combination by changing a single input from 0 to 1. The new value the value of function for this combination, can it be 0? No, this must be 1. Okay, this is the idea of monotonic Boolean function. Please tell me, did you understand? Please tell me, did you understand? See, very simple. The concept is very simple. Let's assume that for this combination, the function value is 1. Then if you increase this value, if you increase by changing a single input from 0 to 1. Okay, you cannot do this. Okay, don't do this. By changing a single input from 0 to 1, you change a single input from 0 to 1. You change a single input from 0 to 1. Okay, change a single input from 0 to 1. Then remember, if you are increasing the input combination, then the value of f should not decrease. Okay, the value of set f should not decrease. So this will be 1. Okay, is this clear? So I hope you understood the idea. Please tell me. So for example, let's assume here some value x you have, here some value y you have, and here you have 0. For this combination, let's assume that function value is 0. Okay, now what you are doing, you are increasing this input combination by changing a single input from 0 to 1. By changing a single input from 0 to 1, I am changing a single input. Okay, then tell me the new value of f, what should that be? The new value of f, remember, that should not decrease. So you can see, because f was 0 for this combination, so for this combination f can be either 0 or f can be 1. Yes or no? But notice, for this combination, if the function value is 1 and I change single input from 0 to 1, then the function value, this function value should not decrease. In this situation, the function value will be what? Tell me. In this situation, that function value, that will be 1. Okay, I hope you understood. Please tell me, did you understand this point? Let me know. Is this clear? Now you tell me a simple point I'm asking. Let's see some questions. Okay, we are going to solve some questions. But before that, you understand the definition of monotonic Boolean function. So remember, when can I say f is monotonic? F is monotonic. F is monotonic if and only if we changing input from, okay, increasing input, I can say if and only if increasing input combination, when you increase input combination by changing single input from 0 to 1, by changing, this is very important, by changing single input from 0 to 1, by changing single input from 0 to 1, from 0 to 1. Okay, by changing single input from 0 to 1, if you increase the input combination by changing single input from 0 to 1, then function value should not decrease. Then function must not decrease. Okay, then the function must not decrease. Okay, this is the definition. Is this clear? Please tell me. Very simple. This is the definition. Yes or no? Now let's see some questions. Back to back, let's see some questions. For example, what about this function f equal to ab? What do you think? What about this function? So let's create the truth table for this function. Let's find out what happens with this function 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. And your function, what is that? Your function is ab. That means 0, 0, 0, 1. Now you tell me, is this function monotonic? Is this function monotonic? Tell me, is this function monotonic? See, very simple point. If you change a single input for this 0, 0, what value you will check? See. For this 0, 0, the value is 0. For this 0, 0, the value is 0. For this 0, 0. Now, for this 0, 0, which other combinations you will check? With respect to this combination, which combinations you will check? With respect to this, I am asking, for this input combination, which of these input combinations you will check? You will check when a single input is changing from 0 to 1. This is important. Okay, when a single input is changing from 0 to 1, so you will check when this input is changing from 0 to 1 or when this input is changing from 0 to 1. Yes or no? So what you will do, notice, you will check when this input is changing from 0 to 1. You will also check when this input is changing from 0 to 1. When a single input is changing from 0 to 1. Now you tell me, this is 0. So this new value can be 0 or 1, right? Yes or no? So far, there is no problem. Agree with me? See, so far, this was 0, 0. Okay, so far, there is no problem. Yes or no? So far, there is no problem. Now you tell me, With respect to 1 0, which combination you will check? With respect to this, with respect to this 1 0, which combination you will check? Increase, remember, increase this by changing single input from 0 to 1. Increase this, please increase this by changing single input from 0 to 1. Okay, so that is the only choice. That is the only choice. So what should happen? If you are increasing by changing single input from 0 to 1, then the function value should also increase. Yes, that is increasing. The function value should not decrease. Similarly, for this input combination, which combination you will check? With respect to this combination, with respect to this input combination, which combination you will check? Increase this by changing single input from 0 to 1. Let's increase by changing single input from 0 to 1. By changing single input from 0 to 1, then you can notice, you will check this. Okay, yes or no? Now can you notice? You can notice here the function value is not decreasing. Here the function value is not decreasing. So this function is what? This function is monotonic. Yes or no? Yes or no? This function is monotonic because you can notice here the function value is not decreasing. You can easily notice. Okay, on this path, the function value is not decreasing. Similarly, on this path also the function value is not decreasing. So this function value is not decreasing on both the paths. The function value is not decreasing. So you can say this function is monotonic. Monotonic. This function is monotonic. Is this clear? Please let me know. Is this clear? Is this idea clear? What is a monotonic function? When can I say a function is monotonic? The definition is clear or not? Please tell me. So this was a simple definition. Now let's see the next function, that is a or b. What about this function? What about this function a or b? See, this is your function a or b. Now you tell me, with respect to 0 0, which combination you will check? Remember, we have to increase by changing single input from 0 to 1. Okay, so if you take this input combination, you want to increase this input combination by changing single input from 0 to 1. You want to increase this. You want to increase this by changing single input from 0 to 1. Then there are two possibilities. There is one possibility. One possibility is this. Another possibility is this. Yes or no? Okay. What next? What next? Notice. Okay. If you do like this, if you increase like this, if you increase like this, are you getting any violation? See, I am increasing this combination by changing single input from 0 to 1. For this combination, you have 0. So if I increase this, then function value should not decrease. You can see so far everything is correct. So far everything is good. Yes or no? So far everything is good. So far everything is good. Correct? Okay. Now you tell me. Now what you do? Now you increase this by changing single input from 0 to 1. What you will get? Increase this by changing single input from 0 to 1. Then what you will get? Then you will get this. Yes or no? Similarly, increase this by changing single input from 0 to 1. You will get this. And what is the value? Function value should not decrease. I am increasing the input. I am increasing the input. I am increasing the input. Function value should not decrease. And you can notice function value is not decreasing. Yes or no? Is this clear? So you can notice on this path, you can notice function value is not decreasing. On this path, function value is not decreasing. And similarly, you can notice on this path also function value is not decreasing. Is this clear? So this function, what is this function? This function is monotonic. This function is monotonic. Okay, is this clear? For example, let's take this function, implication. A implies B. What about this function, implication? The truth table of implication is like this, 1 1 0 1. Now you tell me, is this function monotonic? What about this function? Very simple. This is your 0 0. You increase this by changing single input from 0 to 1. Okay, let's increase. Remember, for 0 0, function value is 1. For 0 0, function value is 1. Okay, function value is 1. Now let's increase this by changing single input from 0 to 1. What you will get? You will get this. You will get this. Now you tell me. But you can notice something interesting. I am increasing the input, but function value is now 0. See what I'm doing. Notice here. If you see this, I am increasing the input combination. The input I am increasing the input by changing single input from 0 to 1. This input combination I am increasing by changing single input from 0 to 1. But can you notice function value is decreasing. Function value is decreasing. Okay, look at this. Function value is decreasing. So just look at this. Function value is decreasing. Okay, there is decrease. There is decrease. So that is the reason I can say this function is not monotonic. This function is not monotonic. Understood? Please tell me. Did you understand this? So this function is not monotonic. What about exclusive OR? What about A XOR B? Tell me. What about A XOR B? This is the truth table. What about A XOR B? Tell me. What should be the answer for this? Again, this is not monotonic. Again, this is not monotonic. Why? Tell me why this is not monotonic. What is the reason this is not monotonic? Notice for this input combination, the value. Okay, so just focus. For this input combination, the value is 1. The value is 1. If I increase this by changing single input from 0 to 1, I increase this by changing single input from 0 to 1, then function value is actually decreasing. The function value is decreasing. So this function is not monotonic. Is this clear? This function is not monotonic because you can notice I am increasing the input by changing single input from 0 to 1, but the function value is decreasing. So this is not monotonic. Understood? Simple, right? Checking if a function is monotonic or not, that is quite simple. What about exclusive OR? What about exclusive OR? 1001. What about this? Again, this is not monotonic. Again, this function is not monotonic. Why this function is not monotonic? See, for this combination, function value is 1. For this combination, function value is 1. If I increase this by changing single input from 0 to 1, by changing single input from 0 to 1, then function value, if I increase the input, see, this input I am increasing by changing single input from 0 to 1. If I increase the input, but you can notice the function value is decreasing. This function value, this is decreasing. Yes or no? The function value is decreasing. Input is increasing, function value is decreasing. So this function is not monotonic. Clear? Let me know. Is this idea clear? So far, did you understand everything? Every point? How to check if a function is monotonic or not? So this is quite easy. You can do like this. Okay. Now, if you want to check any other function, for example, what about NAND? What about NAND? Tell me. What about NAND? What about that? This is NAND. AB whole complement. What about this one? Tell me. So this is the truth table 1110. Again, you can easily see this is not monotonic. This function is also not monotonic. Correct. Why this is not monotonic? Tell me. This is clearly not monotonic because see this input, if I increase, I'm increasing this input by changing single input from 0 to 1, but the function value is decreasing. Yes or no? For this combination, function value is 1. I increase this by changing single input from 0 to 1. I am changing single input from 0 to 1, but the function value is decreasing. Function value is decreasing. So this NAND, this is also not monotonic. Okay, clear? Is this clear? Understood? So quite simple. Now let me tell you. If you have 3 variable function, then what you will do? If you have a 3 variable function, for example, consider this A XOR B XOR C. A XOR B XOR C. What about this function? If you have a 3 variable function, tell me A, B, C. I'm giving you a 3 variable function. You can see 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1. So this is your function. Tell me, is this monotonic or not? This function, is this monotonic or not? You can see this is your exclusive OR of 3 inputs. So this will be 1 when odd number of inputs are 1. This function will be 1 when odd number of inputs are 1. Here you can notice odd number of inputs are 1. So this function will be 1. Here also odd number of inputs are 1. Function value will be 1. Here odd number of inputs are 1. Function value will be 1. Here odd number of inputs are 1. Function value will be 1. In the remaining places, function value will be 0. Now you tell me, is this function monotonic or not? What about this function? Is this function monotonic or not? See, in this function, please tell me. What about this function? Is this monotonic or not? This function. See, look at this row. Okay, look at this. Tell me for which combination. This function is not monotonic, but what the violating combination? This function is not monotonic, but what the violating combination? Give me the violating combination. What the violating combination? Give me the violating combination. Yes, the violating combination is 0, 1, 0 and 1, 1, 0. Very good. Yes. See, for this 0, for this combination, if I increase this by changing single input from 0 to 1, okay, then you can notice here the function value is 1, here the function value is 0. Yes or no? Is this clear? You can notice the function value decrease. The function value decrease. Okay, yes or no? This combination, I am increasing this. This input combination I am increasing by changing a single input from 0 to 1. Okay, but you can notice the function value is decreasing. So this function is not monotonic. Is this clear? Is this understood to everyone? Tell me. So like this. Now let me tell you what you can do if you want to check if a function is Boolean function or if a Boolean function is monotonic or not. The best way is create a lattice. Okay, see what you do. Okay, to check if a function f is monotonic or not. If a function f is monotonic or not. Did you understand the definition? Please let me know. I will tell you the procedure. How to check if a function is monotonic or not. There is a very easy procedure. But you tell me, did you understand the definition, the idea of monotonic Boolean function? Did you understand that? Now let's see. If you want to check if f is monotonic or not, what the best way? The best way is, first what you do, create a lattice. Create a lattice. Okay, so create a lattice. First you create a lattice for f. Then what you do? On every path from below to above. Okay, on every upward path, function value should not decrease. On every upward path, f value should not decrease. F value must not decrease. Is this clear? F value must not decrease. So this is the idea. If you want to check whether f is monotonic, if f is monotonic, then what should happen? Then this should happen. First you create a lattice, just create a lattice, and then on every upward path, function value should not decrease. Okay, see, if I give you a function on single variable, let's start with, if you have a single variable function. Okay, if you have single variable function, then for this what lattice you will create? Which lattice you will create? Tell me. If you have a single variable function, then which lattice you will get? If you have a single variable function, then only this lattice you will get. Input combination can be this, or input combination can be this. Yes or no? Because you have a single variable function. Agree? Is this clear? You have a single variable function. Then what I can say? Only what you can do? This input you can increase. That's it. So this input you can increase by changing single 0 to 1. Yes or no? This is the input combination. Remember, this is an input combination. This is input combination. Okay, so this is your input combination. This is the variable from 0 to 1. Yes or no? I am increasing this input combination by changing single input from 0 to 1. This is the lattice you will get. Okay, so remember, this is the lattice. So you got this lattice you got. And on this lattice, what you do? For this combination, the function value is x1. See, notice, for this input combination, function value is x1. Here function value is x2. Now tell me, f will be monotonic when? F will be monotonic if and only if f will be monotonic if and only if on every upward path, function value should not decrease. Yes or no? On every upward path. Okay, on every upward path, function value not decrease. Okay, not to decrease. Function value should not decrease. For this particular case, you can easily see that x2 should be greater than or equal to x1. Yes or no? For this particular case, I can say in this situation, when you have this single variable, okay, for fa, I can say for fa, what you can say for fa, for fa single variable, I can say that this x2 should be greater than or equal to x1. Okay, this x2 should be greater than or equal to x1. Yes or no? Is this clear? So f will be monotonic if on every upward path function value is not decreasing. Remember, this is the function value. This is the function value, and this function value should not decrease. This function value should not decrease. On every upward path, function value is not decreasing. So this is how you can do. So tell me, on a single variable, which functions are monotonic, which functions are not monotonic? Tell me. On a single variable, okay, on a single variable, which functions are monotonic, which functions are not monotonic? On a single variable, which functions are monotonic? Which functions are monotonic? So if you have a single variable, I have a single variable, this is 0, 1. First of all, how many functions I can create? Let me know. How many functions I can create? Total 4 functions I can create. F1, F2, F3, F4. F3, F4. I can create total 4 functions I can create. Yes or no? So you can create total 4 functions. Now you can easily see this function, is this monotonic? Yes, this is monotonic. The function value will never decrease. Yes or no? What about this? What about this? What about this? So tell me, which of them is monotonic? So you can easily notice that this function is not monotonic. This f3 is not monotonic. This f3 is not monotonic. And what is this f3? This f3 is your a complement. Yes or no? This f3 is your a complement. The remaining are monotonic. The remaining are monotonic. For example, this f4 is monotonic. This f4 is monotonic. Okay, this f4 is monotonic. I can say this f2 is also monotonic, and this f1, that is also monotonic. But you can see this f3 is not monotonic. Yes or no? If I give you this function fa, that is equal to a complement, then here you can see I'm increasing the input by changing single input from 0 to 1. The input combination I am increasing by changing single variable from 0 to 1, but function value is decreasing. Yes or no? Function value is decreasing. Here you can notice, here f value is 1, here f value is 0. So the function value is decreasing. Input is increasing, function value is decreasing. Function value is decreasing, input is increasing. Okay, so that is the reason I can say this function f, this is not monotonic. Okay, so this is not monotonic. This is not monotonic. I hope this point is clear. Is this clear? Let me know. Now let me ask you for 2 variables, but before that you tell me, if I give you this function, consider a function f a comma b. I'm giving you this function. Okay, so consider this function 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. Okay, what I'm doing, notice, here I'm putting 1, here I'm putting 0, here I'm putting 0, here I'm putting 1. Now you tell me, is this function monotonic or not? Is this function monotonic or not? Look at this function and tell me, is this function monotonic or not? Please tell me. Monotonic or not? Let me know. Is this function monotonic or not? Tell me, will you check like this? That, okay, is this increasing? Am I increasing? Will you check this? Please tell me. Can I say I am increasing the input combination? Will you check this? I am asking, will you check this, that I am increasing the input combination? Will you check this? Will you check this, that I am increasing the input combination? Will you check this, that I am increasing the input combination? No. Okay, don't check this. Don't check this. Because remember, you have to change only single variable from 0 to 1. Okay, only single variable from 0 to 1. So remember this point. Okay, so don't say that, don't say like this, that here the value is decreasing. No. Okay, remember, you increase the input combination by changing single variable from 0 to 1. Increase the input combination by changing single variable from 0 to 1. Okay, is this clear? You cannot change 2 variables. You have to change single variable from 0 to 1. Then the function value should not decrease. So remember, don't check like this. Don't do like this. Okay, is this clear? So for this function, what the lattice? If you notice, the lattice is very simple. 0, 0. Change a single variable. Just change a single variable. If you change a single variable, these two things you will get. Change a single variable from 0 to 1. Change a single variable from 0 to 1. If you change a single variable from 0 to 1, if you change a single variable from 0 to 1, you will get 1, 1. Now you create, okay, here the function value is 0, here function value is 1, here function value is 0, here function value is 1. On every upward path, what is happening? Tell me. See, on this path, value is not decreasing. On every upward path, notice, on this path, value is not decreasing. On this path also, value is not decreasing. Yes or no? On every upward path. So I can say this function is what? This function is monotonic. Is this clear? This function is monotonic. I hope you understood. Please tell me, understood or not? So just create this type of lattice you create. Okay. Change single input from 0 to 1. Increase the input combination by changing single variable from 0 to 1. Okay. So this lattice you will get. In this lattice, you check every upward path. This upward path, and you can notice function value is not decreasing. So this is monotonic. I hope you understood. Okay. So for two variables, what is the lattice you will get? What is the lattice you will get? Tell me. For two variables, what lattice you will get? This is your two variable function 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. This is your two variable function. Here value is, let's assume x0, here value x1, here value x2, here value x3. So what are the lattice you will get? For two variable function, what are the lattice you will get? The lattice will be like this. On the bottom, you will have 0, 0. Now you increase this by changing single input from 0 to 1. By changing single input from 0 to 1. Now you increase this by changing single input from 0 to 1. Increase this by changing single input from 0 to 1. Okay, so you will get this. This is the lattice you will get. Here function value x0, here function value x1, here function value x2, here function value is x3. Now what you will do? Now you will check these upward path. Okay, just check these upward paths you will check. Okay, yes or no? These upward paths you will check. These upward paths you will check. I hope you understood. Is this clear? Please tell me. Okay, so quite simple. Now what about three variables? What about three variables? Tell me. For three variables, what is the lattice you will get? If you have three variable function, what is the lattice? What will be the lattice for three variables? If you have three variables, then you start from 0, 0, 0. Okay, at the bottom, what you will have? You will have 0, 0, 0 at the bottom. Okay, you start from here 0, 0, 0. Now what you do? Increase single variable. Increase this input combination by changing single variable from 0 to 1. So what you can do? You can do this, or maybe what I can say, for example, you can do this, or what you can do? You can do this. Yes or no? So remember, increase this input combination by changing a single input from 0 to 1. Okay, so these are the things, these are the input combinations you will get. Now, in this also, increase this by changing single input from 0 to 1. So tell me how many combinations you will get. Tell me how many combinations you will get. Let me tell you. Let me know. Increase this by changing single input from 0 to 1. Then how many input combinations you will get? If you want to increase this by changing single input from 0 to 1. So two combinations you will get. Yes or no? You will get total two combinations you will get. So these are the two combinations. You will get 1, 0, 1, and you will get 0, 1, 1. Okay, 1, 0, 1 and 0, 1, 1. These are the combinations you will get. What about this 0, 1, 0? What about this 0, 1, 0? Okay, this 0, 1, 0. If you change this from 0 to 1, you will get this. And similarly, in this 0, 1, 0, if you change this, then you will get 1, 1, 0, right? Okay, you will get 1, 1, 0. Okay, what about this last one? What about this last one? 1, 1, 0. If you change this, then you will get this. And if you change this, you will get 1, 0, 1. Okay, you will get 1, 0, 1. So like this you will get. And finally, in this, if I increase by changing single input from 0 to 1, what I will get? I want to increase this by changing single input from 0 to 1. How can I increase this? To increase this, I will get only this. How can I increase this? Only this. How can I increase this? Only this. So this is the lattice you will get. Okay, is this simple? Tell me, are you finding this topic simple, right? Very simple concept. The concept is not complicated. Very simple concept. So we have seen what the definition of monotonic Boolean function? When can I say a Boolean function is monotonic? What about the constant functions? Can you notice the constant functions are monotonic or not? The constant functions, 0, 1, they will be always monotonic. Yes or no? They will be monotonic because on every upward path, the function cannot decrease. You can easily see constant functions are monotonic. Why? Because for these constant functions, the function value can never decrease. The function value can never decrease. The function value can never decrease. That is fixed. That is fixed. Function value is fixed. So this is the concept. I hope you understood. Okay, this is the three variable lattice. If you have a three variable function, this is the lattice.